Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this videocast on Hyperbranched polyamides. These are used for wetting and dispersion additives. They're dendritic-shaped polymers with multiple pigment affinity groups for versatility. With me today is Mike Toth from our Wood End Use Group. Hi, Mike. Thanks so much for sharing your expertise with us today.
Hi, Michelle. You're most welcome.
Before we begin, can you tell our audience what it means to be part of your wood end use?
Sure. So at BIC, we classify the wood end use as an industrial wood end use. In other words, we deal with wood coatings that are applied by industrial application systems, much like a roll coater or an automated spray system, a vacuum coat, curtain coaters, items like that. Whereas our deco or architectural end use is hand applied by typically a contractor or a homeowner by a paintbrush or typically like a hand roller. So that gives you a little bit of perspective on the difference between the two end uses.
Thank you for that. What is unique and kind of special about the hyperbranched polymers and their benefits in your wood end use?
Sure. So Michelle, in our wood end use, trends have gone to very low matte wood coatings. In some cases, ultra low matte wood coatings where customers seek the look of bare wood. So to achieve those low matte coatings, you have to add a lot of silica into the system to achieve those lower matte coatings. In waterborne coatings and solvent-borne coatings, that's normally not a problem because you have evaporation that goes on that helps to shrink the film. So you get more matting efficiency from the actual silica. However, like in solvent-free systems or 100% UV solid systems, it can be very difficult because you have no film shrinkage occurring. So essentially speaking, you have to add more and more matting agent to achieve the lower sheens.
That's really interesting, and thank you for clarifying. When discussing these hyperbranched polymers, I talk about these in our learning modules, and I've highlighted a few of the things that you've just mentioned. Can you identify some additional advantages for your customers?
Sure. The biggest advantage I would say would be the lowering of viscosity or very low Newtonian flow with this viscosity reduction. And then also proper orientation of silica particles is also very important. These two features, the hyperbranched polymers do a very good job of achieving in wood coatings.
You mentioned some excellent benefits like leveling, pigment orientation, and significant viscosity reduction. Can you attribute this to the unique dendritic shape?
Yes, you really can. So that dendritic shape actually helps to create some space around the silica particle. So what you have is that open space, and that actually helps to lower the viscosity. So that's a very important feature and actually a key feature of the hyperbranched polymers.
What additives can you mention that would really kind of give us a little more information about the polarity or any other recommendations that you may have?
Sure. Off the top of my head, Michelle, Disprovic 2158 in particular for 100% solids UV systems is a fantastic dispersant to achieve very low matte wood coatings. It provides a very low Newtonian type flow. The sister product is Disprovic 2159 for solvent-borne coatings. And that's another one that works very well to lower viscosity and also achieve a very nice looking film where you have properly stabilized pigments due to the steric stabilization that the hyperbranched polymers are known for.
And I'm imagining that you can get pretty high loading on these additives, correct?
Correct. It can really help. And you need to, especially on the 100% solids UV side. As I mentioned, you don't have any film shrinkage going on. Typically in UV coatings, you coat it and then you cure it immediately. And so there's no flash off time or oven time. So you need to get that viscosity as low as possible and have it flow nicely, not only for the application side, but also for the manufacturing facilities as well. So that you can transfer paint from one vessel to another or fill it off. So it's a very important feature.
One of my favorite 100% solid products is the Disprovic 2200. How is this beneficial to your customers?
Michelle, that's a very interesting question and comment. And what I will say to that is that the Disprovic 2200 is different and unique from the other hyperbranched dispersants in that class because it's in a pelletized form, where the other ones are liquid. But what this particular product, Disprovic 2200, is really good for is to get really good distinction of image, or DOI, in wood coatings, or even beyond wood coatings. It can really help achieve a very deep jet black look, especially for carbon black pigments. And that's a really key advantage of the Disprovic 2200.
Wood coatings also encompasses a huge UV market, as you mentioned. What else would you like to share with our audience regarding that?
I mentioned Disprovic 2158 as being what I feel is the most optimal dispersant that we have that can actually achieve very low matte coatings, 100% solids UV. The only issue that we have right now with Disprovic 2158 is that it does have a Tosca snur associated with it. So it can only be used at this point in time for coatings, industrial wood coatings that contain silica. We are working with the EPA to resolve this issue, and we actually hope to have this opened up to other end uses here in the near future.
It sounds like a great product, and I know that it has some benefits with additionally on the rheology end. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. Both Disprovic 2158 and its sister product for solvent-borne, Disprovic 2159, work excellent in conjunction with rheology modifiers to form a complete package in a wood coating. So our liquid fixatures like the Rheobic 410 or D410, 7410 ET works very well to help with anti-settling features, to keep your product stable in the can over a long period of time. If, eventually gravity will take the effect right on pigment, so it will start to settle, silicas will start to settle. But what this particular combo does a very nice job making it more of a soft pack settling over time versus a very hard pack settling. And then additionally, I can think, Michelle, off the top of my head, Garamite 1958 is another great product that works really well with Disprovic 2158 or 2159. It provides some pseudoplastic rheology and flow, and also helps improve sag resistance in a wood coating. So if you have a vertically sprayed, applied, let's say cabinet door, this particular combination works really good to give you a very nice looking coating.
I love the use of the synergistic effects of our additives. Is there anything else that you want to add to our audience before closing?
I would just like to say, again, these Hyperbranched polymers are very unique. They do provide a very, very flowable coating. And again, that's going to be the key and the important feature of these particular dispersants, to keep the product flowable through the manufacturing process, through the fill-off process, and through the application process. So they work really well. They provide steric stabilization, and they are very unique in the way they work with silica.
You've given our audience a lot of great information. We're also going to leave you guys with some links for all of the additives that Mike mentioned. And also, if you are interested in reaching out to us, please do so at our help desk. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Michelle.